Hello and welcome to the presentation on Dynamics of Machinery, Unit number 2, Single Degree of Freedom Systems, Force Vibrations. So the content which we have seen up to now about this particular unit, and now we are going to see what is the base excitation problems of force vibration. Also we will discuss the magnification factor, force and motion transmissibility, quality factor, and what is half power bandwidth. So first we will see here the force vibrations due to excitation of the base. So sometimes it happens that suppose if you consider any particular machine, and this machine is mounted on its foundation. So sometimes because of some other machines, suppose if there is a very large press machines just behind CNC machine, so that press machine, if it is operating heavily, so that vibrations of that press machines will be transferred from the foundation to that CNC machine. So generally we are going to keep the CNC machine as a separate shop and the press shop as a separate shop, because if we keep both the things at the same place, definitely that vibrations will be being transmitted to that particular CNC machine, and then definitely it is very difficult for that machine to produce a good quality of the work. So let us consider now that suppose this is one of the CNC machine whose mass m is specified, and damping coefficient is there for that machine, and stiffness is also there, and there is a base excitation from the ground. There is excitation, so at any time t y is equal to capital Y sin of omega t. So it is having this kind of variation, sinusoidal variation of this maximum amplitude of y from the mean. So this is y maximum. Okay, now when we are giving this excitation to this, so definitely there is vibration of this machine will occur, and that mass m is vibrating with displacement x, velocity x dot, and acceleration x double dot. So when there are two motions, means mass is moving up and this base is also having certain motion. So in total the displacement of this mass from its initial position will be x minus y. Okay, because as we move this by distance x and this is also coming up, so final total displacement of this will be, suppose if I consider that x is more than this y, so x minus y will be the displacement of this particular mass. And actually the inertia force acting on this particular mass is in opposite direction. Since I am considering the x in upward direction, so inertia force in the downward direction, and its magnitude is m into x double dot. Okay, so now similarly there is a spring over here with a stiffness k, and this damper is there with damping coefficient c. So these will be having displacement that is equal to also x minus y, and this also will be having x minus y. Okay, so accordingly if I have to draw the free body diagram of this, so I am showing on this mass the inertia force acting in the downward direction, and since this mass is moving up, so this particular spring will be under tension. So there is a pulling effect over this particular mass in the downward direction, that is k into x minus y. This is the spring force acting downward, and this is the damping force c into x dot minus y dot acting also in the downward direction. So as we discussed here, that the base or the support of the spring mass damper system undergoes harmonic excitation as given in this figure, and y is denoted the displacement of the base, and x denotes the displacement of the mass from the static equilibrium position at a given instant t. Okay, now we'll try to write the differential equation of motion from the free body diagram of this particular mass. Even the detailed analysis, if we try to see the different forces, can be represented like this. Means suppose if you consider separately mass like this, so x is the displacement of this mass, so downward will be the kx force, and cx dot will be the downward damping force. And also we consider that there is a displacement y because of the base, so because of that also there are some forces k into y and c into y dot. So in total, finally when we are considering both these forces over that mass m, so this is your free body diagram of that particular mass. So k into x minus y and c into x minus x dot minus y dot, that is the damping force and spring force, as we have seen in the previous slide also in the same way. And inertia force will be in the opposite direction, means in the downward direction here. So definitely here this inertia force, this spring force, and this damping force all are in the same direction. So I can add these three forces, so m into x double dot plus c into x dot minus y dot plus k into x minus y equal to 0. I will just multiply this c inside this particular bracket, so c into x dot minus c into y dot plus k into x minus k into y, like this I will write it. Now I will try to separate the term of x and y. So m into x double dot plus c x dot plus kx is equal to ky plus c into y dot. This way I have just separated the terms of y on the right hand side. Now again left hand side will be as it is. On the right hand side I will write down this k outside. So in bracket it will be y sine of omega t plus c into omega into y cos of omega t. That means now I am doing the substitution of this y, because since I know that y is equal to what, capital Y sine of omega t. So that is what substitution I have done here. Okay, because it is a variation of this y. This is small y, this is capital Y sine of omega t, and y dot will be nothing but a derivative of this. So omega into y cos of omega t. That is what I have put the value of y and y dot. Again, when I am trying to simplify this, so now what I have done is y is taken outside, because y is here also and y is here also. So this k is multiplied inside, so it is k into sine of omega t plus c omega cos of omega t. Okay, so now next we will see that this left hand side is again same. So y into under root k square plus c square omega square into in bracket k upon k square plus c square omega square into sine of omega t plus c omega upon in under root k square plus c square omega square cos of omega t. Okay, so actually this k is multiplied with this y sine of omega t. So actually there should be a bracket here so that it will be more clear, and this is a separate bracket c omega cos of omega t. Okay, so now just we are using this phase difference between the displacement x and displacement y. So we are using this particular c omega, means front side, divided by this hypotenuse c under root of c square omega square plus k square, because this side is k, this side is c omega, so definitely this side will be under root of c square omega square plus k square. So what I am trying to do here is that this c omega by divided by this particular k square plus c omega plus c square omega square, when I am going to put it here, that means this is nothing but the value of sine of alpha. So this I am going to put it as sine of alpha, and this I am going to put it as cos of alpha. Okay, and this term is as it is over here. So this is what is specified here, that cos alpha is equal to k upon in under root k square plus c square omega square, and sine alpha is this one from this particular triangle. So here we are getting now sin a cos b, cos a sin a cos b, and cos a sin b, like this in that form. Okay, so that we can write this complete bracket as left side again as it is. So y is also there in the under root k square plus c square omega square into sine of omega t plus alpha. That is what we have got, a plus b formula. Now here if we again compare with the previous equation, so it is left hand side is the same. So generally we are having this f0 sine of omega t, like that was the case. Okay, so it means now here f0 value is y into under root k square plus c square omega square. Okay, now it means now if you have to get the solution of this differential equation also, so you will be getting the steady state part and the transient part, so complementary and particular, complementary function and particular integral in the solution of this. So x will be equal to x1 e raised to minus delta omega t into sine of omega t plus phi 1 plus x sine of omega t plus alpha minus phi. So this is actually the assumed solution for particular integral. So now if I make use of this assumptions, then we will be getting the value of x displacement for this kind of basic citation problem as y into under root k square plus c square omega square divided by k, because this is the value of f0. Okay, f0 by k, and in your denominator will be as it is 1 minus omega by omega in bracket square, complete bracket square, plus 2 zeta into omega by omega again bracket square. So y, if I shift on the left hand side, so it will be x by y ratio, so under root of 1 plus 2 zeta, I can write this as r also, so 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square upon under root 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. So this is the way you will get the displacement ratio x by y. So now here we will define the term, that is vibration force and motion transmissibility. So in machines, vibrations are caused due to the unbalanced mass. So we know that if there is unbalanced mass, it is going to cause the vibrations in the machines. So these vibrations are transmitted to the foundation upon which the machines are installed. So definitely, as I discussed in the first on the first slide, that if there is a press machine and if it is having some vibrations over there, so that vibrations will be transmitted to the foundation, and from that foundation then it will be transmitted to some other machines. So if the transmission of the vibration to the foundation is not avoided, the adjoining machines also set to vibrate. Okay, so definitely this we have to avoid. So to minimize the forces transmitted to the foundation, we have to minimize this forces being transferred to the foundation. Machines are usually mounted on springs or dampers or some other vibration isolation material. So you're using certain isolation material so that vibration should not get transmitted to the foundation, because it is again affecting the different other machines which are mounted on the same floor. So we are using the springs or the dampers or isolating materials to minimize this transfer of vibrations from the machine to the foundation. So vibration isolation is measured in terms of the motion or the force transmitted. So how we are going to measure this, how that force is being transmitted? So it will be measured in terms of force or the motion transmitted to the foundation. So lesser the force or motion transmitted, the greater is the vibration isolation. So definitely we are expecting that minimum amount of force should be transmitted to the foundation, so that there will be proper isolation of the vibration will be possible. And hence in case of force vibrations, it is this force transmissibility term, or also called as transmissibility ratio, is defined as the ratio of force transmitted to that impressed upon the system. Means transmitted force divided by the force which is acting over it. So it is actually the measure of effectiveness of isolating material. So how much your material is effective in isolating the vibrations, that can be measured by using this particular value of force transmissibility or transmission ratio. So for a spring mass damper system under harmonic excitations, so this is x. Okay, we know that is expression for amplitude of vibration. X is equal to xst upon n under 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. This is this is the phase difference of the displacement with respect to the excitation force, tan inverse of 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square. Okay, and the forces are transferred to the foundation or structure through the springs and the dampers present in the system. Thus, the force transmitted to the foundation are the spring force Kx and the damping force C omega s. So, because definitely we have seen the system in which so whatever the force is transmitted to the foundation, it will be through the spring and damper only, and therefore that two forces are K into x and C omega x, and therefore the vector sum of kx and C omega x will be giving us the transmitted force. So let us see now how we can calculate this transmitted force. So this is suppose your mass of the machine, and this is having the stiffness of the spring and damper coefficient here. So through this spring and through this damper, actually the force will be transmitted. So if I consider that this is the kx spring force and this is the C omega x, because definitely there is a phase difference of 90 degree between these two, because this involves velocity and this involves displacement, and displacement and velocity will be having phase difference of 90 degree. So vector sum of this means nothing but this ft, that is the force transmitted to the foundation. Okay, so we have to, and this is nothing but a F, that is your disturbing force. So let us try to find out now the ft first, because the ratio of this ft by f is nothing but called as the force transmissibility. So we know that the x is given by, means the displacement of force vibration is given by f0 by k upon n under root 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square, and therefore from this particular expression we can get the value of f0. Okay, so f0 is nothing but the disturbing force, so it will be given by x into k, because this k will be transferred on this side, so x into k into n under root 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. So this is what the way you will get the force, disturbing force. And now transmitted force will be nothing but the vector sum of these two, so under root of kx square plus C omega x bracket square. So x is common in both, so I can take it outside. So in under root it will be k square plus in bracket c square omega square. So now ft I have got here, f0 I have got here, so I just ratio of ft by f0 is nothing but equal to x into this value. I am going to put it over here for this ft transmitted force and this f0 here. So x will get cancelled out from this, so whatever is remaining and if I take this k on this side in the numerator side, so it will be in under root, it will be 1 plus in bracket 2 zeta r bracket square upon in under root 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. So this is the way that you will get this transmissibility ratio. Okay, so here in this case, now if I plot this ratio of transmissibility, so ft by f0, so you will get the variation of this ft by f0, that is transmissibility ratio with respect to the frequency ratio, in this way. So for no damping it will be like this, and if the damping is provided, this ratio will go on decreasing. And something that you are going to observe here, that is at value of frequency ratio equal to root 2, you will find out that these all the curves are going to cross at same point. It means it will be having for any amount of damping, the ft by f0 means the transmissibility will be equal to 1 when it is root 2. It means before this actually it is go on increasing, and at resonance frequency it will be highest, and then it will go on decreasing, and it will be again 1 for all the values of damping at a value of frequency ratio equal to root 2, and then after that it will goes on decreasing. So here in this part, if you observe, so minimum is the damping. If the damping is minimum here, like in this case it is 0 damping, so this will be having minimum transmissibility, and here again somewhat higher, means as you increase the damping ratio here, or the amount of damping in the system, this particular displacement in this region, or the transmissibility ratio in this region will go on increasing. So definitely we are expecting that there should be minimum amount of damping should be present in the system for having the good transmissibility. So here we are going to see again the magnification factor, which I already defined in the previous case, that is ratio of amplitude of vibration to the zero frequency deflection. So this is nothing but called as magnification factor, amplification factor, or amplitude ratio. So here you can see that magnification x by xst ratio which is plotted. So there is a difference in the curves of the frequency ratio than the magnification factor and transmission ratio, that is different over here. You can see the nature in that case was different, and the nature over here it is different. Okay, and one more term, that is quality factor. So it is nothing but the ratio of magnification factor, amplification factor, or amplitude ratio is nothing but x by xst. So this is already known to us, and this magnification factor also again you can write it in this way, that is 1 upon in under root 1 minus omega by omega bracket square complete bracket square plus 2 zeta r, means if I say omega by omega as r bracket square, this way you can write it is. So the magnification factor of a system at resonance is called quality factor or Q factor of the system. So this magnification factor, if we get the value of this particular magnification factor at resonance, so that is called as Q factor or quality factor. So simply Q is nothing but the ratio of x by xst. Okay, and at resonance the value of this Q is 1 upon 2 zeta, because this omega by omega is actually 1, so remaining term is only 1 by 2 zeta. So this is nothing but the quality factor. And one more term that we will define here, that is bandwidth. So when you are drawing this particular frequency response plot, in this plot, so if I say this as a Q, means quality factor, because at resonance if I am considering this one, so at this resonance, suppose if I get two values, it means if I find out the Q by root 2 value of this particular magnification factor, and corresponding to that if I am getting these 2 points. Okay, and now I am just plotting this vertical line here downward to get a particular value of frequency ratio R1 and this frequency ratio R2. Okay, so now the difference of these two frequency ratios, that is called as bandwidth. So that is what is specified here. The figure shows the frequency response curves of amplitude ratio versus frequency ratio omega by omega for values of zeta less than 0.1. So let R1 and R2 are the frequency ratio where the amplitude ratio falls to Q by square root of 2, means root 2, and are called half power points. So this point and this point is called as half power points, and the difference between the frequencies associated with the half power points R1 and R2 is called bandwidth of the system. So this is nothing but what is the bandwidth of the system. So this is what about the bandwidth, and in the next class we will see the critical speed of shaft having single rotor of the undamped systems. So thank you for watching. Thank you very much.